Hello, and welcome to the GenXplainers podcast, The Perfect Song. And today we have our special guest, Rand, is here with us. Hey, Rand.
Hey,
And of course, Alan and Mike are here too. Hi,
hello.
guys.
Of course.
And the song we're looking at today is a song by Death Cab for Cutie from the album Plans. And the song is I Will Follow You Into the Dark. This is one, I believe, yeah, I chose this one. And it's
You
interesting because
did.
I had put this on my list of songs. And then we did the Valentine's Day episode, uh, Perfect Love Song. And I believe this was one in the running I was going to possibly put forward for that one. Instead, I did the Peter Gabriel one that everyone hated. Um, but yeah, this one is not just love song. I think it's worth looking at as a song on its own for a perfect song. So this again on the album Plans from 2005. It's written by and performed by Ben Gibbard. Um, and it was interesting the recording of it, the story behind it. They were recording a different song, and I'm sure which one, but they were in a break because they had some technical issues with something. And Ben Gibbard sort of went off to another studio or another part of the studio and started playing this um, and singing it. And the producer heard it and said, you know what, we should track this. We should record this. So you may notice, or maybe not, that this is actually in mono and it's just through one mic that was in front of him. Um, and the mix is a little higher. His vocals are a little higher in the mix than they would have done. But that sort of gives it its sort of very sparse and simple sound. Obviously, it's just one mic in mono, him playing and singing.
Love of mine, someday you will die, but I'll be close behind. They'll follow you into the dark, no blinding light or tunnels to gates of white, just our hands clasped so tight, waiting for the hint of a spark.
It started slow as far as popularity, but then it eventually became their best-selling single. And overall, it's their best-selling release after the actual album Plans itself. So let me ask you guys, what's your experience with this song? Had you heard it? No, some of you have. And just what's your history with it? Let's start with Rand.
So I happened to get into Death Cab for Cutie, maybe not happen, but did get into them just before Plans came out. They were getting pretty popular around that time, and I dove right in and got into their whole back catalog and was really excited for Plans to come out. It's their major label debut, right?
I
Think so.
believe so, yeah. I
Yes, I
mean,
believe.
it
So,
definitely
you
had the
know,
weight of a
yeah,
large company pushing
a
it
lot
because
of
it,
lot of pressure. Ends up being, a great album through and through. And this track is tucked in right there in somewhere in the middle, I think. And it's very distinctive. It's the sound of a guy, you know, in a room playing a guitar. I didn't know that history about the recording. I guess that explains why it sounds like that. It also helps that it's a really wonderful song, really great simple tune, fantastic lyrical content, really creative way of expressing your dedication to somebody, which is very heartfelt and gets me every time. So I remember the first time I heard the album, it definitely stood out as one of the top tracks, if not the top track on the album, and I loved it. And like you say, it's become a staple of their live shows. It's their most popular song now. To me, it was just immediate. It immediately grabbed me. I said, "This is a wonderful song." Look forward to hearing that for many years to come. So yeah, it's Ben Gibbard doing what he does best, and he doesn't need the rest of the band. So great song, great song.
yeah. How about you, Mike?
Well, yeah, I don't know if when I first heard it because well, obviously after the album came out, because I was into them before that. I think Photo album is where I first really started listening to them, but it might have been like right in between that and Transatlanticism. I can't remember exactly when, but both those albums stood out to me as really strong. And then Plans came out, I was excited about it. I do think that what I like so much about Death Cab for Cutie in general are the lyrics. I think that he writes incredible lyrics on a lot of songs, and that's why I also like Postal Service so much too, because of all his lyrics on that too. Um, and there's something about him and this particular song having something so stripped down and just simple is really was really good and where they placed the album too. It came at the right moment, and after hearing like all these like more poppy, not overproduced, more produced songs, and then having this where it's like are hardly any production at all,
Yeah.
was really nice to have as just like this moment.
How about you, Al?
I have a different relationship to this song than I think everyone else, in the sense that I had never heard it before. You recommended it, so I listened to it for the first time for this. Well, not for this podcast. We were going to do it. We were going to do this song a while ago, so I heard it a while ago. And it remains the only Death Cab for Cutie song that I am aware of that I've ever heard. So I can't contextualize it. I can't. And so my history of it is very short. I do think that I may have mentioned this on our Valentine's Day episode, that often the best love songs are simple and direct. And this song is definitely simple, direct. It's like straight from the heart. I agree with Mike. The lyrics are really good. The Catholic school is brutal as Roman rule. That's a great line. And you guys know me. I like a nice, short, sweet song. Like, just say what you got to say and then move on to your next thing. So yeah, no, I really like this song a lot.
Yeah. As far as I knew of Death Cab for Cutie when this album came out. I heard their first album through someone Brandon and I worked with, and I liked it a lot. And to be honest, those first albums, like Mike mentioned, Photo Album and Transatlanticism, I think has sort of more of as far as like tone, has more of a connection to this song than the other songs on this album, because it was a major label debut, and I think they had a lot more budget for it or something. Now I think Plans is my favorite album, actually. I think it's a great album. But the other, like Rand was saying, the other songs, I think Mike said it too. The other songs are much more produced and a different feel, full bands on them, but still great songs. But there's something about this one that it's just so, like we're saying, just very direct and very, very honest and great.
If heaven and hell decide that they both are satisfied, and illuminate the nose on their vacancy signs. If there's no one beside you when your soul embarks, then I'll follow you into the dark.
It was nominated. The song was nominated for a 2007 Grammy Award for Best Pop Performance by Duo or Group with Vocals, but it lost to My Humps by the Black Eyed Peas.
Of course.
Yeah. And again, this is one of those songs that has, endured for them. It's used in a lot of TV shows and movies. 90210, Scrubs. There's a Grey's Anatomy that's called this. Afterlife, Friends with Benefits, Crazy Stupid Love. It's all referenced or used. And Amanda Palmer does a cover version as well, which I don't know if I've heard, but you know what? Y'all going to hear a little bit right now, because when I edit it, I'm going to put it in.
And you and me have seen everything to see, from Bangkok to Calgary, and the soles of your shoes.
And also, Mike Birbiglia used it in his stand-up special, My Girlfriend's Boyfriend. Anyway, so yeah, it's used a lot. It's got pop culture appeal.
Well, if there's anything that screams comedy in this song.
I know, hilarity. And I guess some lore around it is that, some people think it's about, like, some people read the lyrics as, oh, he's singing about, if you die, I'll kill myself, like on that level. But he has said, Ben Gibbard has said, well, no, it's not specifically that, but it's more of a general feel of don't be afraid. I'll be with you, no matter what happens, He learned he learned in Catholic school that fear is the heart of love, but he's saying no, it's not. The heart of love is, bravery and unity in the face of uncertainty, that kind of idea. So, I don't I mean, when I first heard it or first like looked at the lyrics, I thought, oh, it does sound a little bit like that. Like it's like, you know, I'm gonna follow you into the dark, But uh, I don't, I don't think it's specifically about that. I think that he uses the imagery, obviously. But anyway,
One thing I like a lot about it is, and maybe it's because it's played on an acoustic guitar with no other accompaniment, but it's a folk song.
Mm.
We've referred to it a couple of times here as a good pop song, and it is a good pop song, but it's very folky to me, much more than anything else in Death Cab for Cutie. So just so you know, Alan, they don't do a lot of folk songs. That this is very, very folky, if that's a correct way to say it. But yeah, it sounds like a folk song to me, which is very charming and very different, and I like it.
You're saying that this is their How Soon Is Now.
Exactly.
The standout in a different way.
Yeah,
that's right.
So some of my notes on listening to it closely again for the podcast, I say, it's a sad, acoustic, unique love song. Its directness and simplicity are actually its strengths. I mentioned the reference to people thinking it's about one thing, but I think what it's saying is like, I'll stay with you whatever the future brings. It's more of a general thing, including the uncertainty, even the uncertainty of what is after death. He's saying there's no, he actually says, he's kind of saying there's no heaven, no blinding light or tunnels to gates of white, or a hell. But whatever happens or whatever happens in life or, figuratively after we're gone, I'm with you. And I think that's kind of, the message there. And I think it's fantastic. So,
I'll say one more thing. So Matt and I went to see Ben Gibbard play live, and he does Death Cab for Cutie stuff. He also does Postal Service stuff, and it was him with an acoustic guitar. And it was proof of how good he is at doing these songs that are normally have all this accompaniment, but it's just him and a guitar. And they really worked. It was a great live show. And so he's good at doing it both ways. And it's very interesting to think about, they heard this song, here he is playing it on the guitar. Let's go ahead and record it that way. He very well could have taken that song and, turned it into a full band version. And I wonder, what that would have sounded like, and could have been better, could have been worse. But, I think they did a very good job with leaving it alone and leaving it just him.
You and me have seen everything to see, from Bangkok to Calgary. And the soles of your shoes are all worn down. The time for sleep is now, but it's nothing to cry about, 'cause we'll hold each other soon in the blackest of rooms.
Mike, Al, anything more to say about like your experience of listening to it?
Nothing to add from my end.
Okay.
It's a big hit with my daughter.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, what's the what's the verdict with the kids?
The kid vote.
Yeah.
She loves it. My son was like,
Yeah, that's, he wants to hear the metal. We hope you're enjoying this GenXplainers podcast. Please remember to find us and follow us on social media. And we'd much appreciate a 5-star rating on the podcast platform of your choice. Now, let's get back to the show.
If there's no one beside you when your soul embarks, then I'll follow you into the dark. And I'll follow you into the dark.
Okay, well, let's vote. I think I brought it, so I'm going to say yes. I think it is a perfect song. Again, I mentioned why. Simplicity, and its just directness. And, it's direct, but it's also, it's a creative way to express those feelings. And I love that. So yeah, perfect.
I'll go second.
Okay.
I'll admit that I came into the recording today not knowing which way I was going to vote on this
Ooh.
at all. I had made no decision, and I kept on thinking about it as we're talking, and
He still hasn't made a decision.
I still haven't still haven't made a decision now.
So you're vamping.
And all the things we talked about were echoing a lot of stuff I thought about it, which is especially the simplicity of it. And I was really on the fence with it, but then I'm like, you know what? No, this is a great song, and the way it's structured, and especially those lyrics and his voice and the way they do it, and I liked the no production on it. Just really simple, like no frills, and I really like that aspect of it. So yeah, I'm gonna vote perfect.
All right. How about Al?
I vote yes, perfect.
Ooh.
I think it's a great song. I love it.
This one was on my list of possible songs to nominate myself, so I can cross that off now. And I already felt that.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. So yeah, no, it's fine. There's one less. I got a shorter list now, and plenty more songs to come. But yeah, I think it's wonderful. And from my corner, we may end up with 5 thumbs up because my wife also says it's a perfect
I was going to say, what do you think, Lise?
Yeah. So yeah. So
Yeah, look at that.
Thumbs up.
Woohoo.
Well,
5.
6 if you count my daughter.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
we
we can
got
keep
6.
going.
Oh no, we can't do quad squad then.
Oh, that'd be Quint. Stint.
It's no, it's the 6 couplets.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, 6. Okay, that's too much for us.
666.
All right. Well,
The devil thinks it's perfect.
I think it's clear that the GenXplainers podcast gives a big thumbs up. Perfect to Death Cab for Cuties. I Will Follow You Into the Dark. And yeah, listen to the album Plans. The whole thing's really good. This song, as we said, isn't representative of the whole album, but very good songwriting and a fine album. I want to thank the panel.
Bye-bye.
Later.
And y'all, thanks for listening. See ya.